Happy Thursday. It is Therapy Thursday, y'all. It is Therapy Thursday. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am Dr. Triffy, and you are tuned in to Transforming Trauma podcast. I am a licensed psychologist in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm also a licensed professional counselor and an advanced clinical hypnotherapist. I love to lead with I sound like this with this pretty little accent because I'm from the Caribbean island of Dominica,
Mhm.
not to be confused with the Dominican Republic. We love them, but we are a completely different country. We're for the South and we speak English, a French Creole, and also an English patois we call Kokoy. So, welcome tonight. Tonight, I have a special and lovely guest. We are going to be talking some deep and beautiful and positive and some fulfilling things tonight. So, come on in, y'all. When you come in, please like and share. Please like and share because sometimes all we need is one idea, one thought,
Mhm.
one word to shift our entire consciousness, okay, to make things better. And so, if you're getting some value from the podcast tonight, please share it, okay? Well, Marcia has been on here with me before, and I'm going to welcome her again. Marcia, tell us who you are.
I am Marcia Blane. I'm a licensed professional counselor, a certified clinical hypnotherapist, soon to be sound therapy. I'm an author, a podcast host, but more importantly, I am a mother and a grandmother and a lover of people. I believe that our journey in life is living out our purpose. So I'm also the, uh, the authentically peculiar life coach as well.
Mm,
That
yeah.
is who I am. And yeah, I'm so excited. Therapy Thursday always makes me excited because even when I'm not one of the guests, I'm peeping in between clients and stuff. And it's like, I love Therapy Thursday. You give
Thank you.
so much, and your guests provide so much helpful information that allows people's lives to be changed, allows them to be seen, heard, and validated. That's
Yeah.
why I love Therapy Thursday so much.
Thank you so, so much. I'm always happy to have you. Well, your Marcia, like I said, has been with us several times, but tonight she's here because of this. Can you see it? Look, can y'all see it?
Can you see it?
Marcia is a brand new published author of the book Making Progress in the Process to Fulfill Your Purpose. And I just wanted her to get her launch done, and then I wanted to settle herself just a little bit. I gave her just a couple weeks before I brought her on so we can talk about this tonight.
Yes.
Marcia, I want to start off by telling you I am so proud of you.
Thank
I'm
you.
so proud of you. I want you to share with the listeners how this came to be.
Oh my goodness. This book is actually about 15 years in the making. Years ago, I was sitting with a group of elders because I love sitting with elders because there's so much wisdom coming out of the loins of the elders.
Mhm.
And one of the elders said to me, "You need to write a book about making progress in the process to fulfill your purpose." So I
Mhm.
became pregnant with it.
Mm.
And I was constantly being fed different things about purpose and progress. And so this book actually is a product of lifing. It is a product of going through life's trauma outside
Yeah.
of our control to actually feeling re-empowered that's within our control.
Mm.
So that book, this book offers that and so much more. Some of the reviews that are coming in, I got one today that said, "Listen, get your highlighter, get your Kleenex, and just be ready."
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
this book is going to do that for you. And hearing lives being changed because they are able to really tap into a lot of things in the book. a little therapy stuff, and then a whole lot of lifing stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I got my copy today. I ran to pick it up. I opened it up, and thank you for this lovely, lovely
You can
um,
scratch.
inscription to Dr.
Excuse me.
Creepy. Thank you for being a God sent addition in my life. You continue to challenge me to achieve greatness. I am, again, tremendously proud of you. It takes a lot to take an idea.
Mm-hmm.
Thoughts are things.
Mm-hmm.
Thoughts are things.
Yes. 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 Yes.
And it, but it's a process. And you
Mm-hmm.
mentioned the word pregnant,
Mm-hmm.
and you and I, we've been pregnant,
Mm-hmm.
and pregnancy is not comfortable. It's
Yes.
not a comfortable process,
Mm-hmm.
and giving birth is all of the discomfort of pregnancy
Mm-hmm.
exponentially elevated, the highest whatever level
Mm-hmm.
you can get to where you think I'm going to die today.
Right.
And so tell me about the birthing process though of the
Ooh. Well, you heard about the conception, how it got in me.
yeah.
So going through the labor was dealing with writer's block. The thought of, is this going to be enough? Am I good enough to get this? Because this isn't my first book. This is actually my third book, but this is the
Mhm.
one I actually went through with a publishing company, the whole 9 yards, right?
Yes.
And so you go through that process of saying, is it ready? Well, it's kind of like being in labor. You may get Braxton Hicks and they tell you drink some water. If the cramps go away or the little bits
Yes.
go away, then you're not in labor.
Yes.
Well, I got to the place where it was no longer Braxton Hicks and it was time to deliver the book.
Mm, 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 mm.
And I was sitting there and I began doing my own editing and things of that nature. And I said, God, I already told you that I want this to be a bestseller.
Yes.
I didn't get pregnant for nothing. I need to
Yes.
bring forth some greatness. So, what I need you to do is establish the links and the connections for me to deliver this book to where I'm not going to have to pay $10,000 to $15,000 to publish a book.
Yes.
3 days later, I get an email out of the blue, just because I had been doing some researching and trying to find publishers that said you can publish 2 books for $1,000.
Wow.
I said, God, you
Wow.
funny. You real funny because you making this whole manifestation thing just
Wow.
and because I am a firm believer that I am privileged enough that whatever I speak, I get. And
Yes.
so I
Yes.
contacted them. True enough, I thought it was a scam because so many scammers going around.
Right.
And they broke down, sent me the contract of what it was going to look like in the whole 9 yards. And we had some battles a little bit about marketing and stuff like that.
Hmm.
But the fact that I got it from print to cover to in people's hands because
Yeah.
just them doing the editing was 1,000, and then I ordered copies, so that was 1,000, and
Hmm.
then the whole marketing thing. So it ran me about 5,000 total.
Hmm.
But when I went and did the research, that's like really no money in comparison.
I was about to say, Marcia, that I really wanted you to say that again for the
Mm-hmm,
aspiring authors
mm-hmm,
out there. Those of you who have the ideas, you're pregnant with all
mm-hmm,
of the ideas,
mm-hmm,
and it's terrifying the thought of, you're getting more and more pregnant, right?
mm-hmm,
The
mm-hmm,
belly's getting bigger and bigger,
mm-hmm.
and you're not sure. Oh my God, what do I do
Right.
next? Who do I connect with
Mm-hmm,
next? It
mm-hmm,
costs. There are many people who are charging a lot of money to
mm-hmm.
publish a book.
Right. Right. What I would tell people to do is connect with your higher self for guidance.
Hmm.
Believe in what it is that you have become pregnant with
Yes.
and the journey. You may not know all that is going to lead to, but when we get pregnant, we know we're pregnant. Nobody has to convince us that
Yeah.
we're pregnant. We don't have to keep testing every month to just make sure that we're pregnant. When we get pregnant, we get pregnant. So we know our body is beginning to respond. When your spirit
Yeah.
begins to respond when you're pregnant. And then here comes the leaping, and here comes the movement, here comes the discomfort. Part of that discomfort is, where's the money coming from?
Yeah.
Well, I am a firm believer that you have to turn off all of that negative self-talk. There's no room for it. You're either in or you're out.
Yeah.
You got to turn off the negative self-talk. So as I was going through the process, I recognized, and I'm a firm believer that your gift will make room for you,
Yes.
place you among great people.
Yes.
Well, the money was already in the bank. The book was done. The cover was done. All of that. All it was simply doing was pressing a button.
Yeah.
See, even when you get that idea of, I need to go ahead and get a cover, I need to keep writing this, and maybe I can get someone to look over this. Keep going. I can tell you that people that I have supported for years
Mm-hmm.
in their branding, not a single one has bought a book. Ask me if I'm concerned. I'm
Right.
not.
Right.
I am not. Listen,
Right.
you can't wait for folk to validate your gift. They don't know your gift.
That's right.
They don't know your purpose. They don't know your anointing. They don't know your why
Yeah.
behind it. Stop waiting for folks to give you the okay when they haven't given themselves okay.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You mentioned a couple things. I think these are two of our biggest challenges. When
Mhm.
we have ideas, we are pregnant with these ideas, and that process, being
Mhm.
able to make progress, right? To
Mhm.
move through that process to fulfill
Mhm.
whatever it is you're giving birth to, we do get held back by these core beliefs, negative core beliefs that I am not good enough.
Mhm.
Either I am not good enough, I don't have the skill, I don't have enough writing ability,
Mhm.
or I am not worthy.
Yeah.
I am not worthy. Therefore, who's going to read this book? Who's going to buy this product that I'm thinking
Mhm.
about creating?
Mhm.
So, how did you move through that?
So, one, because I know my purpose, and
Yeah.
I know that anything that I get pregnant with has to come forward.
Yes.
The years of me going back and forward um, with negativity have been far behind me. I am a firm believer that if you said that my gift is going to make room for me and place me in the front of great men,
Yeah.
then I'm going to need you to handle that. My part, right, of
Yeah.
that process is being connected and understanding my purpose and being prepared to give birth.
Yes.
It's not my job to hunt down the great men I'm supposed to be in front of. That's what my purpose is going to do,
It'll
right?
open those things up.
It
Those
opens up the
provisions will
door.
be along the path. Yeah.
I've gotten more people contacting me about interviews, written and video interviews about this book. I don't know where they got my name from. That's not my concern,
Yeah.
right? My job was to write it.
Yeah.
It's the universe job to take care of the rest that needs to happen to get it to bestseller.
Yes. Oh, I
That's it.
love this. I love this. I love this. And I'm speaking to somebody tonight who you've been pregnant many times with these ideas, with your
Mhm.
ideas that you want to give birth to. You've been pregnant many times. You've either
Mm.
you've listened to other people's and you thought you needed their validation.
Mhm.
And so you miscarried, or you deliberately terminated
Mhm. Mm.
that pregnancy.
Mhm. Mhm.
For whatever reason, I think sometimes we get overwhelmed and we think, I just can't, I don't have support. Those
Right.
two negative core beliefs, they do show up and we can just abort on
Mhm.
purpose.
Mhm.
I want you to offer to the listeners,
How to
you call it,
maintain your pregnancy.
yeah, how
Mhm.
to maintain that pregnancy.
Well, it's the same way. Once you find out you were pregnant, you change your eating. You stop
Mm.
drinking those coats and all
Oh,
that stuff. You stop reaching over your head because the old people told us that when we're pregnant, we can't reach over our head because it
oh,
wraps the umbilical cord around the
yes.
throat. You change. So when you
Oh,
get pregnant, you literally have to start making a physical change to move through that pregnancy. That means all the running in the streets, going to and fro with your friends and all of them, they really don't have anything going on.
right.
You have to learn to say no and right.
Oh,
Whatever it is, if you have the idea of starting a business, you can't hang out with folks that's not understanding the business. You now have to change the group of people that you're around so that you can gain knowledge
yes.
in order for you to have a healthy pregnancy.
Yes.
When you think about spontaneous ends to
Yes.
pregnancy, you have to go back and assess what caused it.
Mm.
Was it my lack of faith in my ability?
Yeah.
Was it my negative self talk? Was I too dependent on other people to validate me
Mm-hmm.
in order for me to achieve this goal? Did I believe in me?
Yeah.
Did I shut it down when people didn't support me? Did I not allow it to get in my heart where my heart became haughty?
Yeah.
I became angry and irritable. If that's happening, spontaneous termination,
Yeah.
whether it's an abortion or miscarriage.
Yeah. And some
Because
of us, we don't like to ask for help. So we won't even, we
exactly.
feel weird. We feel,
Mhm.
oh, I'm losing some sort of strength or power or something is happening.
Or
And we
we've
won't
been
go to the
disappointed.
doctor.
We've been disappointed to enough to ask for help because people are people.
Yeah.
They just people.
Yeah.
I've had people to say to me, "Oh yeah, I'll read over this chapter," and then they start ghosting. And
Yeah.
it was like, God, man, why you even let me ask them to do that when you know I wasn't supposed to ask them in the first place?
Well, why do you think? Why do you think? Well, answer the question. Why, answer the question. Why do you think why were you asking when you
And
knew you were
so
going to
I
say no?
think that God didn't have anything to do with it. I think that I was choosing,
Yes.
right,
Yes. Yes.
to let it happen. I think, though, that God intervened and cut the
Mm-hmm.
connection
Mm.
simply because I know that we have been given the gift of choice
Yes.
on what it is that we do. I recognize that. I recognize that that's where our gift is. But I also recognize that even as a free will agent,
Yeah.
when you're supposed to be where you're supposed to be and you distract yourself and God still needs you to be there,
Yeah.
you're going to get there.
Yeah.
Regardless of what's going on,
Yeah.
you're going to get there. And there's nothing about that. And so what I did was I then went into meditation. All right, God,
Mm.
look, I keep trying to bring people into a process that has nothing to do with them.
Yes.
Forgive me.
Yes.
I'm asking you to remind me in my level of discipline to stay focused on what it is that you got for me to do and
Yeah.
stop waiting for others to be there. Because
Yes.
as I wait for them to be there, I recognize they can't do for me what they haven't done for themselves. And because of that, I now choose to sit still and go, which way you want me to go?
Yes.
How are we moving with this process?
Yes.
Okay, boom. So I sat on it. Like with my journal, I sent it out to a couple of people. They came back, they edited for me, gave me some tidbits. But this one, it went straight to the publisher.
Yes. Yes.
It's
You
like,
were
no,
not wasting time.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And I'm not one to um, beg people,
Mm-hmm.
right? To be a part of something. I'm just not. I, I
Yeah.
I I don't beg people to be a part of something because I truly believe someone asked me two questions. They said, "How did you become a wedding officiant?" And I told them. And they said, how can I be one?" And
Mm-hmm.
I said, "Well, let me give you the information on what you need to do." And they're like, "You're just gonna give it to me and not charge me?" I was like, "It's just knowledge.
Yes.
You can't make me stop eating,
That's right.
right?"
There's enough for all of us.
We're all going to eat. And
Yeah.
so you want to be around people. Now, don't get me wrong, don't be leeches.
Yeah.
Don't keep sucking life out of people and information out of people and not planting something back in them.
Hmm.
But you do want people who are going to motivate you,
Yeah.
right, to move forward. The first time I spoke at a counselor's conference is because of Dr. Triffy, because I had been asking so many therapists, how can I get in this arena? How can I do this? Oh, let me get back with you. One even had the nerve to send me an email link on how much she charges to consult. And when I responded, she still didn't get back with me. Cool. All right. I talked to Dr. Triffy when I was going through my hypnotherapy certification. She said, I'm going to challenge you. Send it. Well, I couldn't really come back to her and say, I don't know. So I had no choice but to send it. That's what happens when God aligns your life, when the universe aligns your life and set the right people.
Hmm.
Again, your gift will make room for you and place you among great people.
Yes.
And their greatness doesn't have to be a supernatural famous person or anything like that. Their greatness is where they are.
That's right.
And how can they add a little on their greatness onto you?
Yes.
So when you have that, you then go ahead and start moving yourself out of the way and be like, all right, this is my purpose.
Yeah.
Let's move.
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay. Woo, let's move. This is beautiful. This is beautiful. Something you said that I want to mention before we move forward into talking
Hmm.
about, well, hey, really, my biggest question for you tonight is going to be how have you helped people clarify their purpose? That's going to be my next question. But I want to acknowledge something you said earlier, which is sometimes we don't get it right the first time.
Hmm. Hmm.
We got to make the mistakes, and
Hmm.
we feel the pain
Hmm.
of doing it wrong, and the pain of doing it wrong, essentially we fail our way into success.
I would like to say, because I'm big on how we use words,
Yes, yes, yes,
I would like to say that we had a setback for a setup for a comeback versus a failure.
yes,
Right?
yes,
And the reason why I would like to say it like that is because sometimes when we use the word fail, it becomes daunting and
yes,
overbearing.
yes,
Right. And so what I would tell anyone is, and this is my truth, the only time you fail is when you don't try.
absolutely.
If as long as you're coming, and there's a portion in the book that talks in about the progress, where it talks about inch by inch everything is a cinch.
Yes,
You don't have to have this big boom situation in order to show progress, right? You just really need to try, and if it doesn't work, you didn't fail.
that's
That
right.
just means you have to go back and look and say, well, let me try it this way, right? A
Mm-hmm,
failure is to completely stop,
mm-hmm,
right?
mm-hmm.
So when you get to those humps in the road where it doesn't feel right, well, that's what happens when you're writing a book.
Yeah,
Let me take that out. That didn't come out the way I wanted it
yeah,
to. That means that you're so in tune in what you're trying to do. Your spirit is saying, not that, but this.
yes, yes,
Sometimes we'll ignore that direction of not that, but this, and try to put our own stuff in it. And then the spirit starts nagging you in the middle of the night, and it's like, man, let me just get up and take it out.
So your title is making progress in the
Mhm.
process. What does progress mean to you? What are you
So,
asking people to think about when they think about progress?
so progress to me, and hold on, let me go to that definition that I gave in the
Yeah,
book, so I can say it exactly how it says in the
yeah.
book.
I'm gonna read it for you because I underlined it, y'all. I
Oh,
got
okay.
the book today and I was underlining. So Marcia says progress is easily defined as forwarding motion. And you quote Steve Harvey on his radio show when he made the statement, inch by inch, everything is a cinch. What does that mean? Inch by inch, everything is a cinch.
So a lot of times people think that they have to have something major,
Yeah,
right, in
yeah,
order to say it's progress, but you don't.
absolutely.
Dr. Myron Rowe wrote a book called The 2% Way. And
Mm,
I've really adopted that mindset. If I'm 2% better than I was yesterday, that's
yeah,
progress.
absolutely.
Inch by inch, everything is a cinch, or anything is a cinch. That means that even if I take a moment a little longer than someone else, I'm still going
Yes.
to get to my finished desire. It's kind of like when you're driving and someone is impatient and they speed past you and you both end up at the red light at the same time. You're still both waiting. And I that happened to me this past weekend. I looked at the guy and I said, inch by inch,
Right.
right? Because when we don't recognize those small achievements,
Mhm.
if you wrote 2 pages in one night, is that not progress?
Absolutely.
Oh, you
Two
want your
pages
book
more.
to be finished.
Mhm.
No, you wrote 2 pages more than what you already
Mhm.
had.
Mhm.
And so when we begin to look at it from that way, one of my favorite books is How Do You Eat an Elephant? One
Mhm.
bite at a
One
time,
bite at a time. Yes,
inch by inch. I can accomplish anything.
that's right.
I can break it down and make it happen just a moment at a time.
That's right.
Yeah.
No, process. What is process? In the book, you say the next step to fulfilling your purpose is process. Process can simply be defined as the ability to identify the steps that lead to the goal. You're talking about
Mhm.
no left brain planning activity.
Mhm.
Tell
Mhm.
us more. Go ahead.
Absolutely. And so a lot of times we get an idea, right?
Hmm.
And in that idea, we just see the end result. Well, nothing works without having a plan in place.
Yeah.
So you got to know, and I usually use the analogy about making a sandwich.
Yes.
I want a ham and cheese sandwich. I know I need bread. I know I need ham. I know I need cheese. And I know I need whatever else I have.
Yeah.
Well, if I am missing key ingredients, I don't have a ham sandwich. That means I have to stop, identify, well, where do I need to go get my ham from
Yes.
in order to complete the task? It's the same process. When you begin to think about, I want to start a business, I want a nonprofit organization. Well, you got to have a place to start.
Yeah.
What is the nonprofit organization? What's your vision? What's your mission? What's your goal? I
Hmm.
always tell people, start there. What's your vision? What did you see? One. Two, with your vision, stop telling everybody your business.
I know.
Just stop. Because your truth is they can't help you anyway. What's your mission? What is it that you are submitting yourself to in order to bring this to pass?
Hmm.
How are we getting there? What's that goal?
Yes.
Who are you in the process? Do you even know you? Have you figured that out yet? Because that's a big part of laying the foundation.
Yes.
If you are still operating like what other people have decided your narrative needed to be, then you probably are having difficulty trying to make it through the progress and the process.
And what's the recommendation for a person at that stage?
So, what I will share with you is stop for a moment, have a real conversation with yourself, and a real conversation. If you all remember months ago, I talked about having a get naked person.
Yes.
Get naked person is the person that's going to be honest with you. Have a real conversation. I have clients that say, oh, I'm a great communicator. I'm this and I'm that, and I don't understand the problem. I need you to find 2 people that are not afraid to be truthful with you.
Hmm.
Ask them about your communication style. Oftentimes, when I ask people to define themselves, they define me the same way others have defined them, and the suit doesn't fit. And that's where they're stuck. So,
Yeah.
in order to get you through that stage, it takes work to really want to identify who you are. When you do that, then all of the stuff that tried to attach itself to you, that's been attaching itself to you, now has to drop off, and you're going to be a different person.
Yes.
People sometimes aren't going to like you
Yes.
because they can no longer manipulate you.
And they don't know it, they don't recognize you anymore. You're a different person. So
Mhm.
whomever it is they liked or fell in love with or admired, that is different because you are
Absolutely.
different.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yes.
Absolutely. And so once you gain insight, and I don't want to jump into purpose too fast because I know you got a question for me about that. But
Yes.
once you gain insight, then you can actually learn what it is. And I'll talk to you all about how I gained insight on
Yes.
my purpose,
Yes.
right? But I
Actually,
had to shed some stuff.
yes. Actually, I want you to use that
Hmm.
story, use that evolution and that
Hmm.
increasing awareness, how that
Yes.
evolved, so people can, put it next to their lives and see
Hmm.
how it might relate to them. So how did you get to your purpose?
You know, um, I was 20 and a half, almost 21 years old. And I knew from a young age there was something special about me. I can't tell you how. I just knew inside of me I was not the norm.
Yes.
Fit in the box. I wasn't the norm. I wasn't a part of the process. Well, I was a single mother, and I was sitting at a church here in Georgia. And one of the mothers, I had gone to the bathroom, and one of the mothers came to me and she said, you're speaking for the Mother's Board anniversary. Well, I was raised in the South. All I could say was, yes, ma'am.
Yes, yes.
And she left out the bathroom, and I said, what did I just do? Okay. So went home, got these two little babies, and my soul is churning. Well, no
Mhm.
one had ever talked to me about what that was like.
Yes.
And so went to work. There was an older white guy named Ed, rest his soul. I said, come here, we need to talk. He's like, what is wrong with you? Excuse me. We go outside in the parking lot. I said, Ed, this little old lady told me I had to speak at the Mother's Board anniversary. He said, so get prepared. Excuse me. I said,
Yes.
what are you talking about? What do you mean get prepared? He stopped talking to me. He was not going to give me any more instruction.
Anymore.
I
Yes.
kept toiling because what his lesson was, stop talking to everybody and talk to God.
Yes. Yes. Get quiet.
Whoo! I'm gonna come to that. So few days went by. I'm in the Bible and I'm looking for different scriptures and things of that nature. Here comes Friday, Thursday night. I was off on that Friday. Thursday night, I'm sitting in the bed, got the kids in bed, and my room gets heavy. In my mind, you trying to kill me?
Hmm.
That's how
Let's
heavy
go.
it got.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there and I heard, get up and get your Bible. Nah, I'm not doing that. Because if you're going to kill me, my kids won't find me trying to reach for a Bible. They're going to have to find me in my bed.
Yeah.
I heard again, get up and get your Bible. So now this is fear. I got up, snatched the Bible.
Yeah.
1 Peter 2 and 11. You are my chosen generation, my royal priesthood, my peculiar people that
Yeah.
have been called
Set
out
it.
of darkness into the marvelous light.
Yes.
I closed it.
Yeah.
What is this? So everything about me, as you can see, peculiar one, all of that, that's where that was birthed from.
I see.
And so I got on the phone, called a couple of preachers. They was like, get off the phone, God's talking to you. What in the world? So I'm sitting there and I finally get quiet.
Hmm. Hmm.
And I said, God, I won't let you go
Yeah.
until you bless me, kind of like Jacob
Yeah.
going up the ladder.
That's right.
And I heard, be quiet.
Yeah. Yeah. That's where it is.
I got my pen and
It
paper
is.
and I got real still.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, there were no intrusive thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
There was no phone ringing. The kids did not move.
Yeah.
And I heard, you have been called out of darkness to motivate people beyond what they can see, to build them up to a place where they can be used to change the world.
Mm.
At 20, almost 21.
Yeah.
And I said, God, are you sure? He said, I've created you
Yeah.
with a voice of power to
Yeah.
change lives.
Yes.
That is what you will do
Yeah.
for the rest of
Oh.
your life.
Ooh.
Mm.
Ooh. How does a 21-year-old assimilate all of that?
Listen, my body is just on fire right now.
Absolutely, mine too.
So I went and I delivered the sermons out of Titus, talked to these older women about raising up young women
Mm.
and being the example that they needed to be for young women without judgment,
Mm-hmm.
without demeaning,
Yeah.
and with support and love. But then I had to go back home
Mm-hmm.
and I had to find my journey because, mind you, there were people calling me a Jezebel because I was a single parent.
Absolutely. Oh, this is the
There,
real life, the pains, the growing
yeah,
pains. And
this is the actual growing part of purpose,
yes, yes, yes.
that uncomfortableness of pregnancy.
Absolutely.
I was a Jezebel. I was a harlot. I
Yes.
was everything under the sun.
Yeah.
And God said, it doesn't matter what they think. This is what I created you for. And I said, okay, still processing. Because
Yeah.
mind you, no mentor,
Exactly. This is many years
no
ago.
support. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I'm 54.
Yeah. This is 30 something years ago.
I no one, no support.
Yeah.
In my quietness, though, I learned to move quietly. I would be called to pray for people and their bodies would heal. One lady said to me, why is your hand on fire?
Mm.
Literally, when God used me, my hand would
Yes.
turn into a ball of fire.
Yes.
And I didn't understand that. Because,
Yeah.
mind you, in the Baptist church, women weren't supposed to preach, they weren't supposed to
That's
teach,
right.
they couldn't go to the pulpit, they was good for making announcements.
Yeah.
So there was a struggle
Mm-hmm.
with who I am,
The narratives.
the narrative. So I had to start shedding those off. It was even at a point where even my own mother said to me, you sure God put this on you? Because
Mm.
you got these kids, and I had to shed that off.
Yeah.
Because I knew that she had not had the encounter that I had.
So you're talking about validation, not needing to hear it from other people
Mm-hmm,
after you've had your
mm-hmm,
experience of knowing.
mm-hmm. I
Mm.
didn't have to, excuse me, I no longer looked for people to tell me the anointing on my life. I
Yes.
no longer looked for people to validate my purpose.
Yes.
What I do in the lives of people that come to therapy is so natural.
Yes.
It is not a
The same.
hard fought thing. I don't wrestle with getting people to see
Mm-hmm.
their purpose, to see what they've been called to do, to see their greatness.
Mm-hmm.
It's natural.
Mm-hmm.
And in that, I began to say, I know that this paved way is going to have some cracks and creaks.
Absolutely.
I just need you to help me not give up
Yeah.
on the journey through the cracks and creeks. There
Yeah.
was one time there was so much going on in my life because I had gotten off track
Mm.
from my purpose because I was trying to satisfy a husband.
Mm.
And I stood in my living room after we started going through the divorce process, and I said, God, am I under a curse?
Mm.
He said, no, I just freed you. Ah,
You caught that one.
man, listen. And from that point forward, I have never gone opposite of
Yeah.
what my purpose is.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
I don't care who it is. If you can't align with me and my
Mhm.
purpose,
Yes.
I don't have a lot of room for you. I'm
Yeah.
gonna be very cordial. Have no
Yes.
room.
And you can release them with love.
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely.
Yes. Yes.
Because one thing that I know, when you know your purpose,
Hmm. Hmm.
nothing can change your mind on it.
Yes.
Your
Yes.
When you get uncomfortable in pregnancy, you can't really sleep. They say, hey, put a pillow between your legs, sleep on your side, and all that kind of stuff. You
Yeah.
have to find your places of comfort. That means cutting folks off.
That's right.
I had to cut off family.
Hmm.
They've back around now because now all of them are seeing how things are moving and how God is using me. My aunt
I
said
know.
to me, oh my God, you have been peculiar one forever.
Yeah.
And she said, now I apologize because I remember a time
Yes.
when I didn't believe in you.
Oh.
And I said, and I remember that too.
Yeah.
Thank you for
Yeah.
my journey now.
Yeah.
Thank you that you're still here to see it.
Yes.
See,
Yes.
the other thing that I learned in understanding my purpose, I can't hold grudges
Why not?
because they hinder my ability to see and feel.
That's right. It's for you. It's
I
for you.
offer forgiveness frequently.
Yeah.
And I know that there's this whole foolish, I ain't gonna say it's foolish, this school of thought.
Yeah.
You don't have to forgive.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
I choose to forgive because I don't want to be in bondage
Yeah.
to somebody that's not even thinking about me.
Yeah. And who already hurt me? And who's already hurt me? And now I'm carrying this weight. And they're
Now you
going to,
want me to gain extra weight?
yeah. Yeah.
During my own pregnancy, you want me
Yeah.
to gain extra weight by holding on to stuff. No,
Yeah.
I'm trying to get to the delivery room.
Yeah. It's understanding that you have a choice. You have the
Hmm.
choice to let
Hmm.
it go. Yeah.
Absolutely. It is a choice, but just like in the Bible, it says choose life or death. I
Right.
encourage you to choose life.
That's right. You got to teach you.
So why would I continue to run around with unforgiveness? Why would I continue to move in places of aggravation and anger when I know that leads to death?
So something I'm hearing from you on that journey to finding your purpose, moving in your purpose, walking in your purpose, you have to practice
Hmm.
shedding these painful emotions
Yes.
and these painful decisions,
Hmm.
painful thoughts, because
Hmm.
those things they add extra weight to the journey. It's a much more
Absolutely.
painful experience.
And don't ever get to the point where you feel like I'm done shedding
Yeah. Ooh.
because we are a continuous ball of evolution
Absolutely.
and life is going to continue to life.
Yes.
That means that there are going to be situations that are going to challenge you that you need to shed.
Yeah.
If you, it's kind of like I tell people, if you've gotten to the point where you're not learning anymore, you need to go ahead and die
Yeah.
because there's nothing else for you to
It's
give.
nothing else.
So if you're done shedding, why are you here
Mm.
other than to make somebody else's life miserable?
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
not done.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh Lord. Okay.
But the big key out of that is remember,
Yeah.
you got to get quiet.
The
If you
quiet.
want to really understand your purpose,
Yes.
you have to get quiet. I offer this to you. God, I thank you for my purpose and the silence without distraction so that I can hear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And once I hear, then what? That's a
It's
that's a,
time to
that's
do.
another step, isn't it?
That
Once you
that's
hear,
that's the progression. Because once I hear, right, your process starts all over,
yeah,
making progress. So
yeah,
now I'm hearing,
yeah,
now I need to progress and
yeah,
I got to have a process.
yeah.
Because now I know. So understanding your purpose is not the ending, it's the beginning. But we
Absolutely.
had to get you through that point. We had to get you through the shedding.
Yeah.
We had to get you to understand. I love chapter 1. It's the longest chapter in the book because it really breaks down all of the layers of Maslow's hierarchy,
Yeah.
how our lives were disrupted temporarily because of things that we couldn't control.
Yes.
We couldn't control the families that we were born in. We couldn't control a lot of the traumatic events that took place in our life. We couldn't control not belonging, not loving, the whole 9 yards to get
Mm.
to self actualization. But what we control today is how we love us.
Yeah.
The last chapter in the book says, I love me again.
Yes. Coming back around.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
And the importance of understanding that entire process is recognizing that the only person that you need to satisfy daily is you. There's no competition outside of you. Just because you see somebody else doing it, you
Can you
don't
say
do
that
it.
again? I think
Absolutely.
I want you to say that slower. Say
Hmm.
it again.
So, as I said, there is no competition outside of you. And the
Yeah.
only person you need to satisfy daily
Yeah.
is you.
Yeah.
We get distracted when we spend unnecessary energy being concerned about everybody else,
Yeah.
being concerned about how can I please them?
Yeah.
How can I make them see me? That's not your business. Tabitha Brown always says, have a good night. But if you don't go around messing nobody else's night up because that's their business.
Yes.
You have to be about your business
Yes. First.
first.
Mm-hmm.
Understanding your purpose is your business.
Mm-hmm.
Because without that, you're like the children of Israel. You just kind of walking around
Walking
wondrously,
around.
trying to figure it out, getting mad at God because he won't give you all the food at one time and he makes it go right because you're greedy.
Yeah.
You won't listen. You
Yeah.
won't pay attention, right? And so when you begin to do that, when you get off track because you're trying to get people to validate you, you start to stink. And that's when
Toxicity.
you really don't like yourself. And that's when you start saying, things like, I hate my life, I this and I that. Yeah, because
Yeah.
you're stinking, because you keep
Yeah.
trying to invite people in that don't belong.
Yeah. In cognitive behavior therapy, they call it self-downing.
Yes, yes. Self sabotaging, self
Yes.
downing. Um, our favorite word in therapy, excuse me, is stinking thinking.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Your
Can you
thoughts.
tell? Yeah. Talk a little bit about stinking thinking and how that can get in the way of purpose.
Absolutely. So when you have stinking thinking, that's you literally talking yourself out of something that you've been purposed to do, talking yourself out of your abilities, causing you to actually compare yourself to other people. So
Mhm.
then your mind, and we're going to talk about that because I got to talk about the mind process.
Yes.
Then your mind jumps on the stinking thinking. Why? Because the mind likes to be in control.
Hmm.
The mind likes when you are negative with yourself because it knows that it's fertile ground, right?
Feeds
To
on.
continue to cause stinking thinking, causing you not to align with your purpose.
Hmm.
We keep giving the mind permission that it doesn't need.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Please say more.
It's kind of like, how the people say the devil made me do it, and the devil sitting there saying, I ain't make you do nothing.
Right.
We keep saying that it's in our mind. No, you place the thought in your mind because you're the first person in control, not your mind.
Yeah.
So that means that now you have to recontrol your mind by removing those thoughts. So when I
Renewing the
share,
mind.
exactly, renewing your mind, and you renew your
Capturing
mind through
thoughts.
your words and your positive affirmations.
Yes.
So every time your mind tries to go to this negative place, you need to immediately turn it around,
Yeah.
pull it out, and say something positive to yourself.
Yes.
Oh, you can't be a writer. Oh, but I am a writer.
Yes.
See,
And I
look,
get better and better every day.
every day
Yes.
you have to turn that off.
Yes.
You have to discuss with yourself. We're not doing that anymore.
Yeah.
But the real reality is when you start being real with yourself, you take off the mask
Yes.
that you got it together and be real with yourself. Your mind has to align itself.
Yeah. So, you know, guys, one something that Marcia just did was offer you a skill that we actually teach in therapy where
Mhm,
you decrease negative self-talk, increase positive self-talk.
mhm,
It's so powerful. For those of you who grew up Christian, it's the equivalent of capturing the thoughts. You
mhm,
know, you got to
mhm,
capture the thought that is not good for you and replace it with one that is good for you. And you can, and you can. And your job is to increase your awareness of yourself
mhm,
enough so that
mm,
you become noticing of these thoughts, these voices, this
mhm,
whatever's, whomever's voice, you know, a teacher from grade 2, your parent from whenever, an auntie
mhm,
who didn't like you,
mhm,
whoever,
mhm, mhm.
capturing those thoughts when they show up and actively replacing the thought with a thought that makes sense, that is also in your best interest.
Absolutely. Your words, and I'll break it down like this. Whatever your belief system is, most of them are aligned to believe that there was a spoken word for the world to come into existence
Yes, yes. In the beginning
in the beginning,
was the word.
and we are created in the image of the creator. So if we're created in the
Woo.
image of the creator and words were used to create this vast universe,
Yeah.
why are we not empowering ourselves with words,
Yes.
positive words,
Yes.
to manifest the desires of our heart?
Yes.
Whatever your mouth speaks,
Yes.
your head believes.
Yeah.
Whatever your head believes, your heart receives. Whatever your heart receives, your body moves.
That's right. And it manifests. It
It
acts it out. It
manifests.
presents it to you in the physical.
Mhm, mhm,
Yes.
mhm,
And that process, I think, you know, as you were just sharing, it can
mhm,
feel painful because again, it is
mhm.
painful. It's a lot of work. It takes a
It's
lot of
uncomfortable.
emotional, very uncomfortable,
Mhm.
very uncomfortable. Takes time. It's not always, you know, it doesn't always work right away. It's not magic.
Woo.
It's not
Say
magic.
that one more time, please.
Yeah,
This
it's
is
not
not an
magic.
overnight sensation.
Yeah, it's not magic. It's not like this thing where people say, "Oh, I speak it and I manifest it like this."
Mhm, mhm,
Sometimes it happens like that, but more often than not, it doesn't. And it takes repetition, it takes focus, it takes energy, it takes attention, it takes awareness, and just an ongoing commitment to
mhm.
keep refining.
So when I talked about that $1,000 opportunity, that was years of manifestation, right?
Yes,
That wasn't just because I started saying it then. I literally
yes,
had been saying that since the book got in my belly.
exactly.
And so I don't want anyone to walk away and believe that this is a magic ball process.
Yeah,
You still have to till the soil. You
yes,
still have to plant the seed. You still have to actually do the work,
yes, yes,
right? And here's the key: it's never too late to start now.
that's right.
Yeah.
As long as you're alive, there's a
As long
reason
as
you
you
woke up. There's, yes, let's go, let's
six
go,
feet up,
let's
you
go.
still got a whole lot more living to do and a whole lot that you need to accomplish.
Hmm.
I would encourage everyone that's listening, if you don't know your purpose, to become intentional in your thought of why am I here? What is my purpose?
Yes.
Make that your intentional thought every day until you are silenced so
Yeah.
you can hear.
Yes. It's almost like an excavating process, like a
Mhm,
digging, a looking, a picking away,
mhm,
but you've got to start. It's not magic. It's not, what's my purpose? Oh, I don't know what it is. Forget about it. It's not
mhm,
like that. It's not,
mhm.
that's not realistic. That's not realistic.
I
It
love how people
is
come to
time.
therapy. Yeah, I love how when they come to me and say, "Well, I thought you could help me find my purpose." I said, "Nah, I can't."
That's right.
Well, what do you mean? I thought that that's what you're all about. It is. It is. Here's the difference between me and you. I've already accepted my purpose.
Mhm.
I've already gone through my process of getting still. You want a magic trick.
Yeah.
You don't want to go through the work
That's right.
of being silent. You want to say silence for 30 seconds and say, okay, God, that's it. Your time up. You can't talk.
Don't
Yeah.
work like that.
Mhm. The other thing about purpose is we are all naturally gifted with something.
Yes.
Your purpose is connected to your natural gift. I am naturally a motivator. I
Yeah.
didn't ask for it, I didn't have to train for it. It's just what I do.
Yeah.
You need to literally identify, do an assessment. I love saying doing assessments because you really need to break down what's happening within you
Hmm.
and identify what is your natural unbought gift.
What might that? Okay, so I'm trying to speak for somebody here.
Mm-hmm.
For you and me, we understand assessment and the importance of assessing
Mm-hmm.
anything before you start it. You've got to get a read on
Mm-hmm.
whatever project or mission you're saying you're going to, bring to fruition. You have to do an assessment. You have to look at it.
Mm-hmm.
What might that look like?
So for me, I literally do an assessment every day. My assessment at this point is, what did I do right?
Hmm.
What did I do wrong? Did I harm anyone? What do I need to change?
Yeah.
In my early years of assessment, it was, who am I pretending to be today? Or am I being Marcia?
Yes.
Right?
Ooh.
Another assessment question is, do I see me and the gifts that I have, or am I trying to match my gift with somebody else?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
That's an assessment.
Yeah.
Do I love me?
Hmm.
Is an assessment.
Hmm.
Do I like me?
It's another
Is an assessment.
one. Hmm.
Do I honor the gifts inside of me?
Hmm.
Is an assessment. Because when you're doing that, now I've got to actually start stripping down other people's narratives about me. You know, the narratives where they said you
Absolutely.
wasn't nothing, you wasn't cute, you
Hmm.
weren't gonna be anything, all that foolishness, all those negative narratives.
And sometimes on the flip side, where they're like, "Oh, everything works out for you. Oh, you're so
Oh yeah,
smart.
oh yes.
You never struggle." Yeah.
Mm-hmm,
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And or that you think you better than everybody.
That's right. Yeah.
Excuse
You
me.
think?
That's what I would
Yeah.
hear all the time.
Yes.
You think you're better than everybody.
Yeah.
No, I know. I I don't have time to second guess what you think and I think about me. You
Yeah.
think you're better than everybody? No, I know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or you're just conceited? No, not conceited at all.
Yeah.
I am confident
Yeah.
in who I am. And if you think that I think that I'm better than everybody, I do.
Yeah. That's because I can't change that thought. I can't.
It's
If
not
you
my
won't
job.
relinquish it, I can't do anything about it. Yeah. So I would
I
be wasting
remember
my time.
people exactly.
Mhm.
I remember, and one of my good friends, she's now a friend. We've been friends now for about 20 years. But when she first met me, she was
Mhm.
like, I could never be a friend with Marcia because she had heard all these rumors about
Mhm.
me
Yeah.
and things of that nature.
Yeah.
And she always says, you either gonna love her or you gonna hate her because you're
Mhm.
gonna get the truth.
Right.
She doesn't sugarcoat it in a way that it's going to be like a lie to you.
Yeah.
She'll bring it down to where it doesn't devastate you, but you
Yeah.
either gonna love her or you're gonna hate her.
Yeah.
My truth is in my 20s, when I learned that I did not need others' validation,
Mhm.
I
Freed
stopped.
you up, didn't it?
Oh yeah, I stopped looking for it.
Yes.
And that includes my parents.
Yes.
Well,
Yes. Yes.
I literally was living to hear my mother say that she was proud of me.
Mhm. And many of us do that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But when I gave myself permission to be free,
Mhm.
while I appreciated it when she said it, I didn't need it,
Yeah.
right?
Why is
Be-
that important to unhook yourself from that? I mean, somebody like your mother or your father, these people are
Mhm.
very important. So,
Exactly.
but why is it important to unhook yourself from that? Untether yourself.
Well, here's what made it really important for me is I knew that I couldn't please people the way they felt like I needed to please them. So I had to give myself permission because I was a child um, of sexual violence.
Mm.
I was a child that needed hugs and love that was pushed away. Um, I was a child that was much different than my siblings, right? And I learned very early on that the person that I could count on the most was me.
It's yourself.
Not that I didn't want part of Maslow's hierarchy of belonging and loving to fully exist in my life, because we all do.
Yeah.
But I learned very early that I could count on me.
Yes.
And when I couldn't count on me, that means I was lying to myself.
Mm.
So I stayed away from lying to myself.
Yes.
I had to learn to be truthful with me because in my own truth, I could change my narrative.
Yes.
I could,
Yes.
the book talks about being in high school and being told I wasn't smart enough to go to college.
Look at that.
It talks
What you
about how
talking
people counted me out
about? Mm-hmm.
um, early in life, right? Kind of threw me to the curb, you this and you that, and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I decided that they didn't get a right to define me.
That's right.
That's part of that blessing. That's part of that purpose. That's part of that willingness to get to know who you are in the sight of your creator.
Okay, pause. You said I decided.
Mm-hmm.
I
I'm just like you said.
decided.
Mm-hmm.
I made a choice.
Mm-hmm.
I decided. And that's where it is.
It is. The thing is that we get to choose who we are,
Yes.
when we are, and even who we encounter.
That's right.
You can choose to hang out with toxic people because it's familiar for you.
That's right.
I just choose not to hang out with stink, right?
Yeah.
I you get to choose to keep running back into the fire where people are um, irritating and aggravating and
Yes.
forcing you to act in ways that you say you don't want to act in, but
Yes.
you constantly do it, right?
Yes.
Excuse me. You get to choose all of that.
Yeah.
Or you get to choose to say, I will no longer give you my power.
Mm-hmm.
I have a statement that I keep, or affirmation actually, that I keep on my desk, and it says, I have the power to access my purpose without anybody's permission. I give myself permission to control my thoughts and emotions that blocks my purpose without anybody's permission.
Yes.
That is my daily affirmation because I literally posture myself in my choices.
Mm-hmm.
I don't answer phone calls of people that I know are going to try to suck life out of me.
That's right.
I just don't. I don't
That's
respond to group text when people talking all this chatter. I don't.
that's
And
right.
it's not that I think that I'm better than them. I choose, right,
Mm-hmm.
what is going to be in my spirit
Mm-hmm.
because I've been purposed to build people up to their next level.
Yeah.
Well, if I am being intoxicated with
Yes.
junk,
Yes.
how am I helping someone?
It's making my job harder. It's making my job harder.
Well, I can't even fulfill my job because I'm heavy now, right?
Yes.
I'm a trash can. Well,
Yes. Yes.
I decided in my 20s I didn't want to be anybody's trash can. I
Yeah.
didn't want to stink.
I love that you keep saying decided, and
Hmm.
it is an awareness. It is after awareness, we have choice. We have to
Hmm.
decide. And
Yeah.
or we cannot, a lot of us we just don't decide and we let life or circumstances decide.
Hmm.
It requires vigilance. It
Yes.
requires vigilance if you're, and everybody has a different challenge.
Hmm.
So if
Hmm.
your challenge is, I feel very uncomfortable saying no to people, then that's your assessment, right? I have
Hmm.
difficulty. That was just an assessment. I have difficulty or I feel uncomfortable in my body when I say no to people. even when I need to say no for my best interest.
So your
Oh,
assessment would be why?
there you go.
Why am I having such a difficulty saying no? I can almost guarantee you, because you're trying to please people, because you're
Yep.
trying to belong, because you're trying to fit in.
Yep.
That's your why.
And you're going to find out that why if you will do the little quiet time,
Ooh.
hmm, little quiet time, you'll figure it out because
Mhm.
you are the expert on yourself.
Ah,
Yeah.
you are the expert in the room
Yeah.
about your business.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because all those other people that keep trying to show up and tell you about your business, they don't know you.
They do
They
not know.
haven't spent time with you.
No.
Oh, they
Ex-
spent surface time with you,
Exactly.
but they
But they
don't
can
know
never know. I
you.
keep saying, I don't care how long you've been married to a spouse. As a mental health professional, I have learned I don't care how well you think you know another human being,
Mhm.
just stop.
Well, it's so funny that you talk about marriage. I tell my couples in therapy that you have to consciously decide to marry your spouse every 5 or 10 years
Oh my goodness. Absolutely.
because there's an involvement. We're,
Absolutely.
we're not the same that we were uh,
You're meeting a different person.
every
Six,
10
one
years.
year. Let's go.
Mhm.
Oh,
Every 10 years, you 5 to 10.
yep.
And the older you get, that time narrows down even more
That's right. That's right.
because now you got to decide if they like each other. I'm just saying.
And you realize the time of life that's been allotted is running out. And so you have to, well, you don't have to do anything,
Right.
but a wise person does this kind of work
Mm-hmm.
where you assess, reevaluate, and then you start making new plans. You adjust your plans, you adjust your current plans, you smooth it out, you
Mm-hmm.
refine it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned that I always say I made a decision. Well, that scripture of choose life or death, I encourage you to choose. That's where my decision making comes from.
Yeah.
I know that I have to decide. I
Yeah.
know that I have to choose. I know that no one can choose for me.
Yes. Okay. So here's a thought I'm
Mhm.
having. Many of us, the idea of purpose was not part of our thinking.
Mhm.
In our 20s, 30s, we were just doing what people
I
said
was
was
just blessed to get it
do.
early.
You get a
Mhm.
job, you go to whatever, you graduate, and you just do. You become a wife because if you're unmarried and you have a PhD, somehow something is wrong with you because you didn't snag the ring.
That
So,
foolishness.
and then you end up, at least 50% of the population or more seems to be ending up with married relationships that
Hmm.
we thought was our purpose. And as you become older and wiser, you become more aware of yourself, you start realizing,
Hmm.
well, maybe my purpose is different, or my purpose
Hmm.
within this union is different. Talk to some of the ladies in that position tonight.
What I would tell you is love yourself enough to want to understand your purpose. It is fine. My significant other, he's great, but he's not my life.
Mhm.
I'm my life.
Yeah.
My kids and grandkids, they are great, phenomenal. They're not my life either.
Yeah.
I am my life.
Yeah.
What I would encourage you to do is see the value in you. Understand that regardless if other people see you, it starts with seeing yourself. When you see yourself, I can guarantee you that the spotlight that's extended off of you seeing yourself will draw all the people in that's supposed to be there.
Yes.
Life is going to do what life does. I encourage you not to give up on yourself because life is not going to give up on you, period.
Right.
That doesn't mean that you won't have challenges. If you think you're going to get through this life without a challenge, then you're lying to yourself, and we need to go back to that assessment.
Yeah.
If you think that you are this special person that shouldn't have to experience anything, we need to have a conversation,
Yes.
because your truth is, even when our experiences are uncomfortable, they grow us, they help us to evolve.
Yes.
It's not comfortable, and some days we want to cuss, fuss, cry, stay in the bed, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
Have that moment and then keep moving,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so, as you, especially to the ladies, don't sacrifice who you are
Mm.
for people who can't see you.
Mm.
That includes your kids and everybody else.
Yeah. Your boss, your sister, your parents, your oof. Yes.
Give yourself permission to love you enough to no longer tolerate being second in your life.
Oh, okay. Say it again, Marcia. Can you please give yourself permission to no longer tolerate?
Being second
Oh,
in your life. When you think about an airplane ride, in the safety presentation, it tells you to put your oxygen mask on first before you can help others. You have to give yourself permission to get out of second place.
yes.
They lied to you
They sure did.
when they said that you're selfish by putting yourself first. They lied.
They
And I'm
did.
talking about society.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
lied.
They lied because it was in their best interest.
Mm,
Yes. It
yes.
was good
Yes.
for them.
Hmm. Because they could manipulate you.
Yeah.
Here's another big lie that I would love to dispel. It's this thing called multitasking.
I have actually stopped it. Like I have actually
Good.
stopped the multi. I even my kids, I will say, like I will speak with you as soon as I'm done writing this sentence.
Hmm.
I just want
Hmm.
to finish what I'm doing.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
Multitasker is truly an enemy to productivity, because you'll start a thought, oh my God, I got to go do this. Well, did you ever finish this
Yeah.
thought?
Yeah.
Most people feel like they can't even access their purpose because they're busy multitasking.
Busy,
Hmm.
busy. You're too
Hmm.
busy and
Too
not
busy.
quiet enough.
Hmm.
The
Hmm.
busyness.
Hmm.
Y'all, okay, I'm going to show the book again. Y'all see it nice? Making progress in the process to fulfill your purpose. Marcia,
Hmm.
where can they get a copy?
You can go to Amazon.com. You can go to BarnesandNoble.com. Type it in. It's in there. Hard copy, paperback, PDF, or e-file book. I am working on the actual Audible, recording in my own voice. I didn't want to hire someone for what I need to do in my own
Yes.
voice,
There's
because
an energy that comes from you.
yes,
Yes, that somebody can't.
go out there and grab it. There are so many things
Please
that
talk about it. I want you to tell them a little bit about the exercises. That I've looked through this, y'all.
mhm,
There are many what I
yes,
think are transformational exercises. These are exercises we might give you in a therapy session.
mhm.
Getting it for the cost of how much is the book, Marcia?
The paperback is 19.99. The hard copy is 27.99, and then the e-file book is 9.99.
And how much do you charge out of pocket for a therapy session?
So
As a
out of pocket for a therapy session is 110
okay.
per session. Now, please don't blow me up. Um, for sessions, I literally have no appointments until December 2nd.
No more space. Yeah.
None right now. That doesn't mean I won't do what I can. I am in the process. Thank you, Anna, for
Alma
buying the
said,
book.
but yeah, thank you, Alma.
Um,
But
I am in the process of considering doing a group
yes. Ooh.
session on the book. My niece made the request. So I am trying to work my calendar out so that I can do that. But I want to read an excerpt
Yes.
from you because one of the assignments that I challenge all of my clients in the first session is to write a love letter to themselves.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
And one
I can
client
do that.
wrote a love letter to herself that
Yes.
made it in my book. And it says, and it's on page 35.
Yes.
Dear me, if you had asked me years ago if I love you, I would have said yes without a pause. I gave you companionship, security, and financial stability, but I realized that I didn't give you love.
Mm.
In trying to give you all those things, I forgot to put you first. Everyone who provided what I thought we needed always came before you. So I apologize.
Mm.
I know I have loved people that have treated me less than others, loved people that I should have let go, loved people who physically and mentally hurt me, and yet we were the ones that suffered unhappiness in the long run.
Mm.
I wish I could stop those tears you cry behind closed doors. I wish you didn't always have to appear like you have it all together. In the long run, I truly wish that I could make you happy unconditionally. I don't hate you, but I realize I don't love you. I just don't know what that means or how to. How can I love someone who doesn't know who they are anymore? You let past relationships diminish your confidence by always telling you your flaws. So you changed,
Mm.
not for the betterment of us, but for their happiness. You know what I miss? Those days when we would focus on working out, reading a book, writing poetry, or dancing to our favorite music all by ourselves.
Mm.
Why did we get here? Listen, just make a promise to me starting today. Please figure it out for us. I want to love you and I want to be the best relationship we've ever had. Sincerely, me. So, the first challenge in the book is for you to write your love letter to yourself.
Why is that important?
The reason why it's so important is you need to be able to identify your own love with you.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, they're not allowed to talk about mama them, daddy them, cousin them, children them, job them, school them, none of them in their love letter. It
Yeah.
is strictly about themselves.
Yes.
The reason is we've been tricked to believe that we are supposed to put everybody first.
Mm.
I can tell you that most people can't write a love letter. It takes them 4 to 6 weeks.
That's right.
And then I get these texts. I hate this assignment.
Yeah.
Excuse
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
I hate this assignment. Why
Yeah.
are you making me do this? I don't know. What am I supposed to say? And I usually say, start with, dear me,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And go to that.
Yeah.
You were asking about some of the assignments. There are things in there that encourages you to write your small steps that you achieve so that you can understand about this inch by inch process. It's assignments to write down barriers
Yes.
you encounter under
Strength.
in your strength,
Hmm.
under the self-defining area talked or portion that talks about finding your descriptive words of who you are,
Yes.
making sure that you are actually not validating negative words, but your positive words. It talks about writing your putting it all together and
Yeah.
writing the definition of who you are. I define me as
Yes.
this.
Yes.
When you go through, and I want to read this poem because, yes, I do write poem every now and then. And it says, I choose to define me.
Yes.
I came into a world with labels and a definition that I was expected to accept, but I found the strength in my voice and I changed the narrative.
I changed the narrative.
I decided that no one could restrict me to a box. So I began the journey to find my place, my thoughts, and my voice. I changed the narrative.
Yes.
I stand in awe of my newness and acceptance of who I am. I no longer cling to the definition created by others. Today, I choose to define myself, and I changed the narrative.
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
That's
Thank
beautiful. You know, the language, y'all. So words, we rewire our brain.
you. Hmm.
Words change energy.
Hmm.
Marcia was telling you earlier, just remember, a lot of us here, we like the Bible. In the beginning, word is what was used to create.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And this is how you create.
Mm.
You write.
Mm. Mm.
You change, you change the narrative. You change the story. Whatever story you've been telling yourself that is not working, if the story you've been telling yourself is good for you and it's working, keep
Mhm.
it. But as
Mhm.
you're doing your assessment, if it's not working for you, if people coming in and all they're doing is sitting and just pouring, and they're not,
Mm.
they're pouring negativity in, and it doesn't seem
Mhm.
as if they're bringing any positivity, you have to decide, am I going to keep spending time with that person
Mhm.
without boundaries? Little
Mhm.
things like that. You change the story, change the words you use to describe yourself,
Mhm.
to
Mhm.
describe your life, to describe what you're creating.
Mhm.
You have to decide it. Only you, only you. I don't care how loudly we speak,
Mhm.
you
Mhm.
have to do it.
Mhm.
You have to
Mhm.
change it, to
Yeah.
change it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. And yes. And it becomes a choice, right? It
Yes.
becomes a part
Decision.
of it, it is a decision, but it's becomes a part of you accepting the conception. Sometimes people get
Taking
pregnant.
responsibility. I did it.
Yes, and it throws them off because it's just like, how did I get pregnant? Well, you know how you got
It was
pregnant,
me.
right?
Mhm.
And so accepting that conception
Yes.
puts you in a position to make the decision to go through the pregnancy.
Yeah.
You
You take
choose,
responsibility.
yeah,
Ah,
you choose that. And you choose to be able to say, you know what? I affirm that I was created to be my absolute best self.
yes. Yes.
My tagline on Facebook simply says, I am my greatest asset,
Yes.
right? When you can affirm those type of things through your words, you become empowered.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You use your power because I think we already have it. We come in here with it. We have all the raw materials. So
Hmm.
you use it. You actually have it. A lot
Hmm.
of us are just not using it. And one of the most powerful ways you use it is with your words.
Your words.
Words,
That-
words, words.
That's your best tool. Your words is your absolute best tool.
Yes,
Your words can move mountains.
absolutely. Right?
It just can, because your words will even take over the doubt in your mind
Absolutely.
as long as they're positive words.
Oh,
They'll
you
dig up
know,
the negative stuff.
I'm a psychologist, and in our clinical training, they like to, for all mental health professionals, they do a good job of teaching us to separate spirituality
Mm-hmm.
from clinical
Mm-hmm.
work.
Mm-hmm.
But because I'm a human being who lives in a world where there is spirituality, and we are body, mind, spirit, and because I was trained to read the Bible, I see so much psychology in the Bible.
Absolutely.
We're talking about words, and this scripture that says, if you had enough faith, the size of a
Mhm.
mustard seed,
Mustard
you could do
seed.
this.
Mhm.
Yeah, you would say
But
things,
that's what took me
mountains
away
would
from
move.
religion. When I became knowledgeable about the strength of my word, I moved from religion to having a relationship with my spiritual creator.
That's it. That's
I
it.
moved out of that institution of being
Awareness.
stuck. right? To a place where me and God so cool, we on first name basis.
Yes.
Hey
Yes.
guy, how are you? The
Yeah.
girl, you put this thing in my spirit.
That's right.
And I know that I don't have to know all the hows and whys, but I need you
Yeah.
to give me enough
Yeah.
so I know that I'm on my right journey.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
See, I've had people to challenge me. And let me be real transparent. Marcia has been a licensed evangelist 27 years. So don't get it twisted. Your
Yeah.
girl know the word.
That's right.
Period.
That's right.
I have to clarify that because I be having folks on my Facebook page saying, I remember when you was preaching, you done gave up on God. You can't give up on God. I just got out the box.
Yeah.
I don't I, I didn't want to be in the box.
Yeah.
And
You made a
so my
decision.
relationship
Hmm.
with God grew exponentially simply because I recognize God is not a box
Yeah.
and I don't have to fit into a box.
Yeah.
Because the same anointing that I used for people to be healed is still here,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
And when you recognize that and you know that, you move a little bit away from religion. I attended a funeral today of my son in law's grandmother, and they were singing a song, and my entire spirit began to leap.
Mm.
And I was like, yo, you are so good. Because I kept saying, God, don't let this be a traditional funeral, please. Because I
Yeah.
just really don't want to do that.
Yeah.
And so when this song began, I said, thank you for filling me
Yeah.
and being here with me, where I didn't have to feel like I had to be a part of a religious ceremony.
Yeah.
I could just be Marcia.
Yeah.
When you are cool with God, you don't have to fake. You don't
You
have
you
to shake.
you be. You just
You
be.
just be. And so my prayers aren't the atypical begging prayers.
Yeah.
My prayers are always prayers of gratitude. God, I thank you for trusting me
Yeah.
to do what you purposed me to do.
Hmm.
Thank you that all of my needs are already met. See,
Yes.
when I do that, I don't have to ask for nothing.
Yeah. Yep.
I get it
Covered.
right because I'm already showing you gratitude.
Yeah.
Even when it came to the book, thank you for already positioning the publisher and all these people that
Yeah.
needed to be.
Yeah.
Thank you for positioning the finances for
Yeah.
making all of this happen. Thank you for doors open.
Yes.
I never go into my time with God asking for anything.
Hmm.
It's
It's
always
already
gratitude.
done. It's already done.
Always gratitude.
Yes.
And when you change that to a time of gratitude, you'll see that your spirit releases all that excess negative energy.
The anxiety, the worry, the fear.
Now I'm walking in the expectation of my Thanksgiving.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Ooh, you just did a cognitive behavior reset. That's what
Mm-hmm.
that is. That's
Mm-hmm.
what that is. Okay, so we're coming up to chapter 7, which is the final um, chapter. It's titled Life Cycle Completion. Before we
Mm-hmm.
talk about that, I'm a number 7 girl too. I love 7 because it does represent completion. This is one of those beautiful special numbers. And I was born on the 7th of a month, so I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
I think my life number is a 7 too. So I
Yes.
love that. Before we talk about that and we start wrapping it up, I want you to offer and explain to the listeners how hypnotherapy in your mind can be a tool to help people find their purpose.
Absolutely. I because there's no other word to use, love hypnotherapy.
Mhm.
I am a firm believer that we are spiritual beings having a physical experience in this life. And oftentimes we become so attached to the physicality that we suppress our spirit.
Mhm.
Hypnotherapy allows you to put down all of these shields so that the spirit side of you can come forward and recognize what it is that you need to dump,
Yeah.
that you've been afraid to dump, so that you can
Woosah.
breathe again.
Yeah.
I am a firm believer that, now I'm going to tell you, the religious ones, this. Don't be shooting me no DMs and all that kind of stuff, talking about what God didn't put in you. Listen, there
Such
is absolutely
misunderstanding.
nothing on this planet that God didn't send us here with.
Nothing is new under the
We're
sun.
not making up anything. We're not creating anything. Even when we start talking about aligning our chakras, even when the Bible talks so much about gems and things of that nature.
Right, Garnett. He talks about the breastplate of all of the stones that people are trying to tell you today are somehow belonging to the devil. But it's okay that it was.
I am telling you, when you give yourself permission to get out of the box and utilize a
Yeah,
tool like hypnotherapy, the thing that you desire, that freedom that you desire to feel, allows you to be present with it.
yeah,
I have clients that have gone through hypnotherapy, and the first thing they say is, I thought I was done with that. I didn't know it still had a root on me. I didn't know that it was still entangled
mhm,
inside of me. So imagine this, and I don't know how many people are in a Marvel movie or into Marvel movies, but and I can't even think of the character, but he has a breastplate on, and there is a light that he has to keep in to keep living.
mhm,
Hypnotherapy is the igniter of the light,
mhm.
right? To open you up of things that you suppressed and been afraid to deal with. And those things are actually what's holding you back from walking in your purpose.
Yes,
Hypnotherapy gives you permission to do that.
yeah. Fast,
Yeah.
fast, fast. Yes.
Yeah,
Well,
real fast. Mm-hmm.
fast. Yeah. When you compare it to many other forms of therapy,
Mm-hmm.
fast.
Mm-hmm.
So let's start completing
Mm-hmm.
tonight's lovely, meaningful conversation.
Yes.
And in on page 125, you talk about you share another motivation.
Mm-hmm.
First off, tell me about your fascination with the number seven, and then
So the number seven to me is just as important as no longer using the word perfect,
mm, mm,
because it means complete,
yeah,
right? So I know that creation has a completion. And because of that, I recognize that between my date of birth and my date of death,
yeah,
there's a line to completion.
yeah,
And so when I see the number seven, I see that as my energy source of, I can get anything done.
yeah,
Seven, I
yeah,
can get to completion. Just
yeah.
like eight means a new beginning.
That's
That
right.
means that when I am at this point of completion, I've gone through my seven layers
Yeah, the
to
process.
get here, this process. Here
Hmm.
comes my eight, and I got a new beginning. So I
Yeah,
get to start again.
yeah. Level two.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yes, yeah, yeah,
Yes. I love the number seven because it's a reminder that regardless of what it looks like, things come to completion.
hmm Mhm.
Yeah.
So we were talking about pregnancy and
Mm-hmm.
conception. You
Mm-hmm.
know, conception of the idea. You conceive the idea. The idea
Mm-hmm.
gets somehow, planted in
Mm-hmm.
your subconscious, in your conscious mind, wherever, and then you become pregnant with it, go through the labor of it, and give birth to it. A book,
Mm-hmm.
a business, a
Mm-hmm.
relationship, a
Mm-hmm.
degree, a
All of
child,
it.
yeah, a healthy body, whatever it is,
Mm-hmm.
whatever it
Absolutely. You
is.
mentioned page 125. I'm going to back up a little bit before the words of wisdom.
Yes,
And it says, choosing to live and not to exist is a purpose.
absolutely. Wow. Yes.
Use your words as power deposits available for withdrawal during tough times. So here's my words of wisdom. My words are the power of my foundation that I formed to overcome past pain, hurt, and disappointment. My words of the strength of my existence and the rewriting of my story. My words are the cloth of defense when negative ideas, thoughts, and images attempt to enter my space.
Yes.
My words are the victor of my existence. I am my words, and my words are me. And I could get to define that. My words are mine, and I won't apologize for accepting my greatness, validating my presence, and appreciating me. My words belong to
To
me.
y'all. So I'm going to ask that you do something for me as I listen to Marcia read this. She says, I am my words.
Mm,
And she's right. So I want you in the chat to finish the sentence, I am, and
mm,
make a declaration tonight. I am. I am my words.
mhm.
So I am, and put a word that you are declaring that you are tonight. Marcia, I want to tell you thank you so much for being obedient.
Mm.
Yeah, being obedient
Yes.
to your purpose, because I one of the things I keep saying is that 20 of us could write 20 books on purpose, and everybody would get something completely different from it,
Yes.
and it would need to hit 20 different people.
Mhm.
See, this is so beautiful.
Thank you.
I'm very proud of you. Y'all, if you haven't yet, Amma is a catalyst. Amma bought the book already. Okay,
Thank
Amma
you,
has
Alma. Thank
wait.
you so very much. Thank you.
Yes. Y'all, time is a limited resource.
Mm.
Talking about that recently. It does not belong to you.
Mm-hmm.
But I do believe many people get to a point in life where they feel sad,
Mm-hmm.
disappointed, anxious, uncomfortable, that they did not do things
Mm.
that were in line with their purpose.
Regret.
Regret. Marcia, we were talking about Eckhart Tolle and the book, The Power of Now. Now is all you have, always. You always have now. So decide what you're going to do with the now. And I
Mhm.
would say, once you decide it, do it now.
Now.
You might not complete, you might not come to your step number 7, your completion, but the doing, the action of now is the end, because you've got to do the inch by inch to cinch it up. Okay?
Yes.
To make it a cinch.
Yes. Yes. And
Okay?
yes. Whew.
So tell them again where they can get the book,
So
Marcia.
you can go to Amazon.com and order the book.
It's
You
so
can go
pretty.
to
Look at the cover.
Barnes and Nobles. Say that again for me.
It's so pretty. Look at the cover.
Yes.
So
Yes. Yes.
beautiful. Okay, tell them again.
And that actually was a vision. Um, that was a vision. I said, God, I need a cover.
Yes.
Thank you for whatever that cover is.
Yes.
And I just simply wrote, walking a path with 3 exit routes, labeled PPP. I
You
sent
just
it over to Fiverr and said,
yes.
this is what I need.
Yes.
And what's funny is they sent me back a white guy, and I was like, listen, I am full blooded black.
You used your words.
Don't send me anything with any white person on it.
Yeah.
Even though I want everybody to buy it,
Yeah.
this book represents who I am.
Yes.
And it
Yes.
represents the breakthrough that I am grateful for already that is going to happen
Yes.
in the Black community
Yes.
all over the world
Yes.
because we have been traumatized for
Collectively.
so very long
Hmm.
and we need healing.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we will heal ourselves. The healing must be, we must decide. We decide to heal ourselves.
Hmm.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yes.
Absolutely. So,
Yes.
yes, jump on Amazon.com, grab your book. If you are in the Georgia area, we'll meet up. I'll autograph it. Um, Honestly, I would say go to my website and order books, but I need to literally order some more books in my possession. I have sold out
She
with
has
the book
sold
that I have
out
in my
your,
position in my hands. And so Amazon.com, the good thing about Amazon and Barnes and Nobles is they can't track what I sell on hand from me, but they can
yeah.
track that website, and that's what pushes you to the bestseller list.
Yes.
So that is literally, and I've already thank God for it. I have it written on my vision board, bestseller 2022. And so that is where I am with it. Truly, truly, truly send me any reviews that you want to offer. I am posting them on my website. Um, the marketing team is posting them on the website as well as Instagram and all that kind of stuff. Dr. Triffy,
Yes,
I
ma'am.
cannot begin to thank you enough for believing in me because you know how I felt about asking the industry for support in anything.
Hmm.
And literally, you continue to breathe life and light into me so that I can continue to shine in front of others. Thank you for trusting me. Thank you for embracing me. Thank you. I wish we could invent another word of gratitude because my heart is just pouring out with gratitude. I even tell people that when someone trusts you enough, when they trust you with their brand, when they're going through situations.
Hmm. Yes.
You don't know.
You have my permission to share the story.
Oh,
You do.
can I share?
You do. Sure do. Yeah.
So I was enrolled. It's been a year. It's
Yeah.
been
Yeah.
almost a year.
Coming up. I was telling
um,
Ramona today. Yeah. It's coming.
That I found Dr. Triffy because now, real quickly, I've always wanted to do hypnotherapy, but I didn't want to be trained by a white provider because to me, they just don't know us well enough. And I'm not knocking them because whatever, but that was my desire. And I said, God, I think it's time. I still don't know how I found you, but I did and immediately enrolled.
Yeah.
And there was such a connection. So, as Dr. Triffy experienced a great loss last year,
Hmm.
I simply said, what do you need from me?
Hmm.
And she said, I need you to take care of the class. Now, mind you, I'm in hypnotherapy learning how to be a hypnotherapist.
Yes.
And I said immediately, God, I thank you
Yeah.
that you allowed her to see me,
Hmm.
to allow me to help her.
Yes. And that's
That-
what happened. I saw you. And so that first Saturday, you know, I
yeah,
was on the floor, of course. And yeah, I
yeah,
thought you were who needed to keep the group moving.
yeah.
Yeah. And you all was so gracious and so kind. You've done such a lovely job. You'll continue to do such a lovely job out there healing people and, demystifying hypnotherapy
Oof,
to our
yes.
community, so we can bring healing fast, fast.
Hmm.
Yes.
And it's a beautiful thing. It's so amazing
Mm.
to to be able to offer us
Yes.
in different areas. There are so many comments.
I'm going to go through
Yeah,
some
I was going to say
right
you want to
now.
go through the comments, but
Ramona
we'll
thinks
keep
I'm
talking
looking
because
hot.
this gratitude thing is real for me.
I appreciate you so much, and I thank you too. I thank you
Thank
too.
you.
I'm very proud of you. Ramona thinks her cousin is looking hot tonight. I appreciate it, Mons.
Oh yeah, yeah, you fly, sister.
Let's go. Let's make it do what it do.
Yes,
Hi,
ma'am.
Jessica and Matilda and Peto and Mariel. Avanel, Niva says Rome wasn't built in a day. Sandra says one step at a time. Yeah,
Yes.
one step at a time. And literally, like when life does bring those soul bending moments, you've got to
Mm-hmm.
go down to one breath at a time because
Mm.
it can be so overwhelming.
Yeah, yeah.
But but you keep making. My cousin Ramona and I were talking today, and she's like step by step, one foot in front of the other.
Yep.
That's
That's
how
it.
it is sometimes. And
Everywhere.
sometimes you're flying.
Mhm.
Sometimes you're flying. But wherever you are, you just gotta be there and be you the best way you know how to be you there in that moment.
Yes.
Yeah,
I mean that's progress. That's that inch by inch.
that's right.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
that inch by inch. Hi, cuz Parkinson, Nivas Agafed, very good points. Peto says she likes the part of having a conversation with yourself about your vision and your plans.
Mm.
Yes. Look, you were hitting you were in a moment that was resonating with everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I felt it too.
Mm.
um Neva says I'm shivering. Amma says I
Mm.
have goosebumps. And that's when we say the spirit's talking.
Yes. Oh,
Yeah.
he was. It took everything for me to sit here
And not
because
do a
my
praise
whole
dance. Stand up.
soul. Woo. Yeah.
Yes. Neva says, oh my God, tears are rolling down my eyes. Oh my God. Peto says, wow, that's powerful stuff to handle. Hallelujah. Peto says, God was getting ready to prepare you for your purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Speak. Oh my God. Amma says, I love this lady. She's in my head.
Oh, love you more. Love you more.
Yeah. Anne Marie says, words of wisdom.
Mm.
Eto says, grudges are too toxic. They're very heavy. They're very
Mm-hmm.
painful. They're heavy, and the energy is ugly.
Yes.
It's hard. But I understand that for some of us, it can be hard to leave that space.
That
And in those
familiarity.
moments, you just gotta be the best you
Mhm.
know how to be in those moments too, as you keep taking step by step to leave it, to shed it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Forgiveness frees you, Veronica says. She loves that quote, stinking thinking. Thank you for that teaching on stinking thinking, Marcia.
Mhm. You're
The
welcome.
negative energy will cause you to lose focus and start doubting yourself. It is so powerfully negative and
Yes.
destabilizing. It throws you off. So Peto says, have a positive mindset by saying mantras, which actually Marcia has a list of mantras at the end of the book.
Mhm.
Peto says by saying, I can, instead of I can't.
Mhm.
Pastor Vaughn says, blessed night, Pastor Vaughn. Jackie says, be grateful for the little things.
Yes.
Those go such a long way,
Mhm.
very painful times. Yes. Amma says, I love this. Your purpose is connected to your gift. Very often. Yes, very often. Yes, 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 yes. It's got to be. Got to be. That's where your strengths are, That's where
Yes.
your strength is. That's why you came. Niva says, I thank God for the two of you. Niva, we thank God for you too.
Yes.
You love and light. She says, you'll really have me crying. This is really deep for me. Thank you for sharing and showing
Thank
up.
you.
All of
Yes.
you, like and share, like and share. Althea says, some of us did not understand that phenomenon of not needing others' validation until years later.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of us are still bound.
Mhm.
I feel like that's one of the most negative and unproductive systems, this idea that I need somebody else and I will jump off a cliff,
Mm.
you
But
know.
when you get in that book, in that section on belonging and loving, it literally is going to have you learning to appreciate and validate yourself. There is a chapter in there called self validation,
Yeah.
but that belonging section is going to tear down all of those anchors that's been holding you,
Yeah.
waiting on them. Yeah.
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 And they are anchors. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes, even when you physically lift them up,
Mm.
there's a kind of a phantom feeling of the anchor still there. So you're
Mm-hmm.
easily triggered back
Mm-hmm.
into the old pattern.
Yeah.
Amy, how are you? Blessings to you. Great topic, you say. Thank you so much. Kimmy says we've got to take back our power, and it's a
Absolutely.
personal choice. It's
Mm-hmm.
a personal decision.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have to release this, oh, whatever happens, happens. It's personal decision.
Yeah.
Yes. Hi, Valda. She says, do the little quiet time. Yes, that's key. Petra, good evening. Althea and Jackie again. And Amma. Amma says her dad gave her that advice about children and other people not being
Mm.
their entire life. You are, you have to be your number one. You have to be your number one. She said she thought he was cruel to say that.
Mm.
Now she gets it. Yeah. Hi, Sarah and Tazi. How are you guys? Yes. Thank you all so much for showing up and
Yes.
sharing
Yes.
and
Yes.
participating. Anne Marie, making progress in the process to fulfill your purpose. You're welcome, Anne Marie. And Marvlin. Marvlin, you gotta go back because you missed a lot. It is right there for you, Marvlin. And all of you, thank you for showing up and sharing
Absolutely.
Transforming Trauma podcast with Marcia and me. Marcia, final thoughts, final blessing of words.
The final blessing is love you again.
Oof.
Just love you again.
Yes.
Regardless of situations, circumstances, if you don't love you now, my hope is that you start loving you and accepting who you are through your lens, not the lens of others. Love you again.
That's beautiful.
Thank you all so much.
That's beautiful. I promise you all, guys, there are activities
Hmm.
in the
Throughout
book
the book.
to help you peel the layers back so you can do that work in
Mm.
your quiet time.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
Yes. Making progress in the process to fulfill your purpose. We're going to see y'all soon. Thank
Thank you. Everybody have a blessed night. Love and light to you. And
That's
we are
right.
out.
Deuces, Marcia said. All right, y'all. Take care. Night, Eta.
Night, night.